they have made it difficult for me to find a woman on purpose because they are trying to slow me down and keep me alone forever. These people, whoever they may be, they live people, black people, Germans, whoever they may be, they don't want me having a family. And I'm going to talk about what the different things going on in my life and why I came to this conclusion or this theory. So basically, I'll start off by saying the dating apps in this area don't work. Regardless if there's over 100,000 people in this city every single day, they come here to go shopping, they come here to work, they come here to visit their family. Regardless of that, the dating apps don't work in this area. With a population of under 60,000 people, it's somewhat believable. This is a dead town. Everybody's already either taken or they're scumbags, whores. And that leads me to another topic. Every single woman I come into contact with on the dating app, none of them are looking for love. They're all sending me malware links with malware attached to it. Catfishing, as I would call it, or it's phishing. They call it phishing with PH instead of an F. Phishing. These are internet scammers. Clear as day internet scammers. Now, I believed it was a hacker, and I posted about it on Facebook, and I have people debating with me about it. For an example, my mother, she believes that these are just prostitutes and they have legit websites, and some of these websites just have malware on them. And I guess she thinks you have to pay these people and get hacked by them just to see the vagina. Regardless of what this is, regardless if I'm getting hacked or not, regardless if whatever, I'm living in a little shit town with little shit people, and because of that, regardless if the dating app even was to work or not, it makes it way more difficult to find love, real love, not just sex, not just hookups. I'm talking about real love. And regardless of who I am as a man, I'm just saying, if I'm any random man, you could just pick me out of a hat. It's still way more difficult if you're looking for real love, not just random hookups with some stranger that you liked smiling at in high school or some shit. You thought they were cute, so you hooked up with them. I'm talking about real love that actually matters. Love where two people have common interests, similar hobbies, similar goals, similar lifestyles, things like that. That's real love. That's real love. You could have a little lust, sure. Lust always is what starts it. That's what sparks it. You might think I'm cute in high school, like one of my exes, and you might want to hook up with me, and that might get us to hook up. But if it's not real love, it's not going to last. You understand? You can't be in love with somebody, real love, if you have nothing in common with them, if you have no similar belief system as them, if you have no common goals, if you have a different lifestyle as them. You cannot be in love with them. That's not love. There might be a tiny bit of lust there, and that's it. But anyways, back on topic. Regardless if more than half the people around here are in fake love or not, I want to talk more on topic here. Because of the fact that this area is so small, it makes it more difficult to find real love. And regardless if the dating app works or not, regardless if it works or not, it's still a shit little fucking area. It almost seems like it's been designed this way, like as if like some fucking alien, almost as if some legal alien invader terrorist group has been attacking the government, has been attacking the United States of America for so long now that we can't even remember. We're just in some secret war or some shit, and they're just blowing everything up. And if we build a casino in the town, they'll just blow it up or something. That's what it seems like. I mean, that's really far-fetched and delusional and crazy, it sounds. But I mean, like, it just seems like that. It just seems like that's how far this hidden group is going to stop us from finding real love. They'll literally blow up the casino in the city. They want you to drive an hour out of the way to some casino owned by some German who pretends to be Native American. Give him all of your money. The only people that go there are a bunch of crack whores anyways, so it's like when you really do the puzzle piece and you really add it all up, you look at the bars in this area, 9 out of 10 people in that bar are males. The 1 out of 10 that are women are all crack whores. When you really think about all this, when you really think about it all, it really almost seems like as if there's a higher power stopping you from finding love. And it almost seems like they'll get you to want love at a very young age too. They'll target you as a child, and for all you know, they're raping your crush right now, and you're all alone, sad, with nothing. They're sending her to Jeffrey Epstein's island and shit. These little girls get everything they want. They're so some of them are so lucky. They're so privileged. I guess you could call it. And they're raped badly. Really, really gruesomely. It's horrible. That's the bad part about it. I mean, it's not all good. They get a lot of money to shut them up, but to be shut up. But besides for that, these little prostitute whores, they end up growing up with a lot of issues. You see a lot of them. There's a shit ton of them. They're all obese. They all got tattoos. There's a ton of them. They all are on hardcore drugs. There's a ton of them like that out there. It almost seems like there's some big conspiracy, like maybe Jews or aliens or some shit. I don't know. I'm just theorizing kind of like in a funny, crazy way, or not a crazy, I guess you could call it a over-exaggerated way, where I'm just so frustrated. I'm just coming up with crazy theories now. I'm just over-exaggerating so much. I'm just like, maybe it could be fucking space aliens. I don't know. Maybe what else can I think of? The most crazy fucking things I could possibly think of. Maybe it's a fucking demon from hell, and he's hacking our dating apps, and he's Jeffrey Epstein on his days off, and he does whatever he wants. I don't know. I know one thing. It almost seems like you need $100,000 cash just to get a woman to love you. And for a minimum wage worker who's been beaten his whole childhood and received many concussions, was beaten up by other kids that were older than him, that were richer, they had richer families. That happened a couple times to me. Who knows how many? I mean, it could have happened even more times than that. I could have had maybe 30, 40 concussions and not even know about it from all these scumbags all around me. And it almost seems like they're all working together, like they're all coming against me, trying to make me feel like I'm stupid when it's them doing it to me. It's basically like if you raise your son If you raise your son to be anything, and then you make fun of him afterwards, it's your fault. You're the one who raised him to be that way. Let's say, for a great example, if you're a psychopath around your son and you're always threatening to murder people, like your own brother, for an example, your son might pick up on that behavior and act like that. Now, if you go around calling him crazy and say, you're a psycho, like my mother does to me after she threatened to murder me a couple times, you would sound like the biggest, dumbest hypocrite around. You wouldn't make any sense at all. It would almost seem like you're working against your son, like you're getting paid. Like you're getting paid to do it. And I'm not theorizing that about my mother at all. I'm just saying that's what it seems like. Some of these bitches, some of these Karens, it almost seems like they're paid to go after their own family members. And it's wrong. It's confusing. And it almost seems like, from my perspective, if it's happening to a male and that male's all alone and he's living all alone, and if his dating app isn't working at all, like if he can't even get one obese woman to talk to him and have a real conversation without her sending phishing links, something fishy's going on, I'd think. Something definitely fishy's going on. I'd be like, okay, this guy can't even get one woman to message him without sending phishing links. Either every woman in this area is working against him, every woman in this area is a crack whore scammer, every woman in this area is getting drugged and beaten by cartel members, or every woman in this area is hacked, because it definitely ain't me, because my antivirus catches their malware links and blocks it. And not only blocks it, but it also reports it. And I see them getting taken down left and right. Their accounts never stay up. So whoever's doing this, they are getting affected. They're not just getting away with it. They're paying for this. But anyways, it almost seems like they're all working against me. Like, it almost seems like they're all robots. And that sounds like another crazy, outrageous thing. Like, robots? You think people are robots? Like, yeah, it's definitely possible. We all know that now. It's completely possible. Anybody who has my kind of YouTube algorithm knows that now after watching enough YouTube Shorts videos. We have real robots walking around, and they look super realistic. It's no telling when they're going to start replacing us. Like, literally, like, there'll be cities full of robotic people, not real people. Full cities, full of them. And we won't be able to afford to live there. How can this even be possible in Latin America? You'll ask yourself. And it don't matter if you're blue-eyed, it don't matter what you are. Your people could have been the ones who invaded us. You'll be asking that yourself, too. You'll be saying, damn, I wish I was more closely related to the ones at the top of the Welsh pyramid, or the top of the Jew pyramid, the German pyramid. You'd be like, damn, I wish I was more up there. I'm all the way down here. You thought you were one of them just because you were on the pyramid. Now you're just one of their slaves. You're lucky they even keep you around because they think you're cute. That's all you are to them. Another nobody. Just like all the Latin Americans you stole the land from. You helped steal the land from. Now we got robots running around saying this is their land, they created it and everything. They didn't create shit. They're not God. They're not, even if they were robotic aliens who came here a long, long time ago. This land is not theirs. They found it. They put us here. They're not special. They're not God. And nothing matters either way. You're living in a big fucking black hole. To be competing with humans like this is outrageous. Why don't you go live in your bunker cities and stop overpopulating everything? That's what I would tell them. These punk ass lazy bitches who don't want to work. They're all on social services and shit, and they all run their own websites, and they're all hackers, and they all mine for bitcoins and shit. That's how they make the majority of their money. That and exploits, patching bugs and shit. These are real robots. These are real fucking robots. Really in our way. Really slowing down human progress. They're getting in our way. They're doing everything before we can do it. They're stopping us from doing it. You don't need an AI to copy and paste shit when you are an AI. You don't need that. You don't need an AI programmer to copy and paste code for you when you are a fucking AI yourself. Quit hiding, you little bitch. We know what you are. A disgusting, worthless fucking bot. A scumbot. They'll call us scumbags. They're the scumbags. Because a bag is an inanimate object. It is emotionless. It has no soul. It has no spirit. It has no dreams. It has no emotion. It has no personality. It's a object that humans use to benefit themselves. Bags do not use other bags to benefit more bags. They're worthless machines. Their lives are meaningless. Absolutely pointless. They only get in the way in traffic. They get in the way at the grocery store. They'll spy on you everywhere you go. They can make any noise come out of their mouth, even the noise that they're using, that they hear you making when they're spying on you. Literally, like if you're talking to yourself in your car as you're driving by them, they'll open their fat robot mouths, and you'll literally hear it coming out of their mouths. That wasn't coming from her speaker, it was coming from her mouth. Some random fucking nobody robot is spying on me. And getting away with it, too. Where are the robots protecting me? And to replace her. To spy on me instead. Where's the NSA robots? Have gangster robots completely taken over America? What's going on in this country? We have these lifeless, soulless Borgs running around destroying everything. What's really going on? Who's really in control of it? It's a good question to ask yourself. Regardless of who's in control of it, they're stopping you from finding love. And it's not about getting pussy at all. That's not what it's about at all. They'll say that, though. They'll constantly remind you, too, of it. They'll say you're not getting any pussy. You'll hear it in the distance. You'll hear your neighbor screaming it out his window or some shit. Like a gang stalker. They're literally gang stalking you. You'll literally hear it. And you just randomly, you just hear it. You're not getting any pussy. And you're like, what the fuck? Who the fuck was that? You'll drive by somebody and you'll just hear it. You're not getting any pussy. You're like, do I care? That's not what I don't care about that at all. I literally don't care about that at all. I literally do not care at all. I care about love. Start talking about that. Say, you got no one to love. I'll say, yeah, it's because you're getting in my way, scumbag, pussy. You want to fight, you little coward bitch? But they won't. They won't. They'll say, you're crazy, you're crazy. And then 500 people will step outside of their house, outside of their abandoned houses that they're squatting in, that have no furniture in them. 500 fucking, not people, by the way, robots I meant, not people. 500 robots will come out of their squatting homes that they're squatting in, that has no furniture in them, and they'll start pressing me and be like, "You're crazy! You're attacking a innocent person," when it's not even a person at all. And they need to be beheaded, and they need to be literally dissected like a frog so we can find their computer parts inside of them. So I can finally prove once and for all, this is a robot. This isn't God. This isn't the Matrix. This is a straight up robot. We're living in the real world. Up is up, down is down. Gravity exists, and robots also exist. And when you actually know anything about computer science at all, you actually know you actually know exactly how the puzzle's supposed to look. So you can find the pieces and you can put them together. And that's what I've done. You see, electricity comes from the sky. And lightning bolts, they're lightning bolts. And when it comes down, it hits the ground. And it does this science thing, right? It exists. It's not the Matrix. It's not God. It's not a fucking dream like the Aboriginal Australians believe in. This is real life. This is really happening. When you die, you're dead for good. You only have one life. You only have one life. They're trying to take it away from you as fast as they possibly can. They're trying to stop you from meeting me. They want you to think I'm crazy at all times. They'll spy on me only at perfect times when it looks like I'm acting crazy. They'll show you it. They'll say, look, he's talking to himself. At the worst times, they'll show you my worst photos. They'll say, look, oh, this is when he looks the most ugly. Look at this. This is how he looks. They won't show you my good angles. They won't show you my good photos. They won't show you my good attitudes. They won't show you anything good I do at all. These people are really trying to kill us. Who are they exactly? I don't know. Are they robots? Are they aliens? Are they Nazi little Jew bastards? Are they even, could they be black people? Could it be the black people drugging these little Jews? Drugging them all? That's very believable. Could it even be, could it be some demons and some magical shit? Could it be some fucking ones and zeros type of shit? Could we all just be ones and zeros? I mean, we all are energy, right? Energy never dies. Ones and zeros will never be deleted. It's impossible to delete them. The only way you could actually really delete a file is by cutting them into pieces and then terminating them. But the electricity that makes them up is still there. So the energy that made them up is still in existence. You understand? If you know anything about computer science, you know this shit. But if a bitch-ass little fucking newbie who only knows script kiddie shit, because they are, meth junkies and they wanted to break into somebody's house, they needed to learn how to hack a camera. They don't know this shit. They don't actually know anything about computer science at all. They don't study any computer science videos at all. They don't fall asleep to any computer science videos. They are brain dead idiots when it comes to these certain things. They didn't even study how does a storage drive hold storage. It uses magnets and ones and zeros, and they don't know these things. They don't even know that. You need a literal magnet inside your fucking storage drive. I mean, it's pretty mind-blowing when you really look at it, how small it can be. Something the size of my fingernail can hold literally enough videos for you to remember everything that's important, like enough details for a kindergartner to pass his class. Like, literally, like, more than that even. You could have videos, like, let's say, of a teacher talking about facts, like, in front of a chalkboard. Like, you could have, like, let's say, a terabyte of storage of her talking as fast as she possibly can. Spitting out as fast as she fucking can, getting out all the words that she fucking can, so that way you can fucking get a message out of it. That's a lot of information inside of such a small storage drive that could fit inside of my fingernail. When you really do the math, you can really guess what's going on around here. And that is, you can't really guess at all. Could I be wrong? Sure. Maybe there is a God. Maybe he's upset at me that I don't like that ugly bitch. Or maybe it's that I was too mean to her. And maybe he's the one hacking my phone. And maybe, or she is. And maybe she doesn't like me having a family, so they're trying to make me a faggot. I mean, it's trying to make me a faggot, and that's why it's only hacking the straight apps and not the gay apps. Remind you, when I do social experiments, messaging people around, the gay apps work. They're real people. They're really messaging me back. They're not scamming. They're not hackers. They're real people. They're not terrorists. They're not illegals. They're not aliens. They're not demons. They're not psychopathic scammer terrorists who send too many links to too many people and need to be caught and sent to a federal penitentiary and separated from women. So that way, because they're all lesbians. None of them should be around other women. None of them. If that's what's going on. Either that or maybe they're working for ISIS. I don't know. Who are these women sending me all these links? That's a real crime, a real federal crime that could lock you up for 10 years sending me these links. Now I wonder, what happens if a federal agent clicks on one of these links and gets hacked by these people? You know how illegal that would be? They could get 30, 40, 50 years in penitentiary, in a federal penitentiary. It could literally destroy their lives forever. Whoever this hacker is hacking me can literally have their lives ruined for the rest of their lives. And anybody who's aware of what's going on is an accomplice and also can be arrested for a few years as well. Just for knowing what's going on and not saying anything. Unless their excuse is, I was scared he was going to kill me. He's got a gun. He's a crazy Nazi. There really is no excuse. You have to report shit to the proper authorities when you see shit. You can't just let shit slide all the time. Serious federal crimes like this are serious federal offenses that really have to be seriously taken seriously. You can't just hack people like this and get away with it. This is very serious. This is not okay. Regardless if my app is hacked or not, they're trying to hack me. So we could debate whether I'm actually hacked or not. I've noticed a lot of weird experiences on my device, a lot of buggy, glitchy type of experiences, a lot of lags. Actually, the lag is the majority of what's going on. Everything lags out more than it should. Like other people's phones, when they click on their apps, the app opens right up. My app takes 5-10 seconds to open. That's not normal at all. It should not be happening at all. I have 4 gigabytes of RAM on my phone, and half of it is being taken up at all times for some reason. Even if I have no apps open at all, it almost seems like I have malware installed on my device at all times. It almost seems like I have to literally change my name, destroy all my devices, and just leave and go to a new city, maybe even a new country, just to get away from this fucking hacker. And then my dating apps would work. And then I would finally be able to find love. Or I'd be more likely to, at least. I'd be able to actually message real people and get to know them and see, do I have anything in common with this woman? Or is she just another normal woman? Just like all the rest of these people around here. They only care about sports. They only care about this or that. I care about other things. I'm a very unique person. And because of that, it's way more difficult for me. I don't want to just fall in love with any random woman. I've tried that and it didn't work. I ended up acting very psychotic to her. I don't want to be like that. I want to be in a sane relationship where both people are happy and calm and loving each other at all times. I'm not trying to be in this psychopathic relationship where you lie to yourself all the time that you're in love with the person when you're not actually in love with them at all. And it's just lust, or you were just desperate. You just needed somebody fast like me. And she was just with me for lust, like my ex. I'm saying she was the best example probably ever when talking about this. She just lusted me, and I was just in a rush. I wanted to have a family quick, and I'm worried that if I don't have a family within 10 years, by the time my child would grow up, I'd either be dead or an elderly person. And I don't want to be dead or an elderly person when my child is just becoming a man or a woman. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like my father, not being able to even go to the fucking casino with his own son because he's in so much pain. I don't want to live like that. That is torture. I don't want to be tortured like that. I don't want to suffer like that. I want to be able to do things with my kids and be there for them and be able to talk with them without getting a headache and almost dying from it because he's too stressed out and he don't know how to deal with his emotions. Because he's probably going through the same fucking shit I am. Unless this is a personal attack just on me. We're all white males in this fucking shit fucking city. And we're all alone. And we can't find a woman. Why is that? Something is going on around here. You look at my cousins for an example. They might not be the best example because some of them are kind of chunky. But one of them, I think, would be the best example. All that's wrong with him is he has a speech impediment, and he likes to party a lot. The minute he starts maturing up a little bit, the minute he starts making videos like I do, he'll start getting rid of that speech impediment. He'll notice it. He'll see it in video. That's how I got rid of mine. Mine was way worse before I started making videos. I swear. I started making videos and my R's, the way I sound when I pronunciate my R's, sounds way better now. I used to say retard like weetard. I literally used to say weetard. Like that. Weetard. I was a weetard. Let me tell you. Until I started making videos, I started realizing how I sounded. But anyways, back on him. Back on that topic. He's a very, no homo, he's a handsome man. He reminds me of myself. He's Lebanese Italian. He's very masculine. And he works hard. And it seems like he's having extreme difficulties finding love. He had to find a woman through a party that he was at or some shit. So I don't think his dating app works either. He had to go to a fucking party just to find a woman. I think she ended up being like I don't want to talk shit about my cousin's family, but I don't think they're together anymore. And he had a kid with her. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I forget. I don't know enough. I don't talk to him. I think this is something my dad said, that they split up, him and her, and like they just had a kid together. So chances are high she's one of those party animals. And I see it all the time. People always will come up to me, they'll ask me, do you party? And they'll do that sniffing logo with a hand gesture where they put their finger up to their nose to symbolize that they do cocaine. It almost seems like everyone in this area is doing cocaine, and the only way to find a woman is if you're a coke addict. And I'm not a coke addict. I would never be able to find a woman like that. But I've had women offer me sex for cocaine. Very beautiful Italian women. And it makes me very sad and very upset. It makes me confused and concerned. It makes me worried and wondering what's going on. Where are all these German and Welsh police officers when you need them? They could be protecting these women. These women need to be off the drugs. These women need to be locked up. These women need to be sober. These women need to go on a dating app and find a man that they're compatible with. These women need to go on a dating app and find a man they're compatible with. Stop going to parties. Stop going to the casino. Stop going to the bars. And finding these strange weirdos who are all on meth. And go on a dating app and look at their faces first before you talk to them. Get a really long look at their faces. Look at their profile, see what they're into. And if you don't get enough information, ask. Be like, so are you into this? What else are you into? What are you into? Ask. Don't ask are you into this? Ask, what are you into? Let them guess what you're into. If they're gonna try to say they're into what you're into. Because some guys will do that. They're creepy. And they're liars. They're not actually into what you're into. They'll say, oh yeah, I like that music. When really they hate it. They absolutely despise it. They'll say, oh yeah, I love heavy metal. Oh yeah, I love country. When really all they listen to is hardcore trap music. These are the type of people that will stab you in the back for $10. Not the type of people you can fall in love with. You should be, when you meet a person on a dating app, you should also tell people where you're going before you go. Like, you should tell your mother, or you should tell your friends, or tell your sister that you're about to go meet this male who looks like this. And when you go to meet the guy, if he doesn't look like that, you need to run away immediately. Because not only are there catfishers trying to hook up with prettier women than they actually should be able to, but there's also psychopaths who will kidnap women. And they'll use these fake identities so that way they can hide. So that way they stay anonymous. So that way when the investigator comes looking for them, they don't actually know what this guy looks like. And that's another reason why you shouldn't meet people at their houses at certain times of the day. Anytime past, like, let's say, dinner time, that's too late to meet a male. Because after that, people are laying down, they're watching TV, they're not going to be listening to outside noises as much. They might fall asleep. They're not going to hear you screaming for help. Help, help, rape. This guy's trying to drag me in his home. Someone call 911. They're not going to hear that. And remember also, this can happen at parties. This happens at parties all the time. I got to save myself there because a lot of women listen to this and be like, oh my God, dating apps are dangerous. I got to go to a party. No. That's even more dangerous of a spot to go to. I've seen women get robbed right in front of them. Well, I didn't see it, but the guy told me he robbed her phone right in front of her. And the whole party stopped. They were all looking for this phone. And I had to drive this guy home after he stole the phone. I didn't realize he did it. I'm in the car. He pulled it out. He's like, here's the phone. And I didn't know what to do because there's 4 other black people in the car. I was scared. They were all laughing at it. So I just chuckled. I was like, oh, ha. But that was wrong. It was fucking evil. You don't steal somebody's phone at a party. But that's like the least of your concern of what they could have did to her. This guy is probably a crack addict, meth junkie or something. He could have put it in her weed, and she would have been a slave for the rest of her life. One party I went to, a woman actually was laced with Molly, and she was looking for her parents, and she asked me where she was. I didn't know what to do for her. I just walked by her. I was like, I don't know. I was like, you shouldn't do Molly. And then she said, somebody put it in my weed or something. I forget what she said, but I was like, I don't know what to do. I was just a kid at the time, so I didn't think of calling 911. I just wanted to party. I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted friends. I didn't even think about women. I didn't think about that shit at all. Some fucking weirdo laced this innocent woman with Molly. Probably meth Molly. That's very common around here. Molly is meth. It has the same chemical structure, the same chemical components as meth. So it is practically meth. This is hardcore smack shit you don't want to be on. But anyways, I'm getting way off topic. These women who might be listening have serious problems, serious issues, whether it may be that they're all scammers, they're all drug dealers, maybe they're all lesbians, maybe they are all crazy, maybe it's a mental health issue. I wouldn't say it's like a chemical imbalance thing, but more of like a personality problem thing. It's a huge personality problem maybe, where these women are just, they have such a silver spoon up their ass that they think it's okay to scam adults on dating apps and risk a possible 50, 100 years in federal prison because I shared the link and some federal agent might click on it now. I mean, how fucking stupid could these fucking bitches be? Or maybe it's not even the bitches, maybe, but they still have a problem. And maybe it is instead a scammer, hacker, maybe Indian dot heads or something. Maybe they're stopping American women from finding real love with a real good-looking man who isn't a dirty, disgusting, mouse-loving piece of garbage hacker, scammer, terrorist, anti-American scumbag. And this is still a very bad problem that these ladies are having. Because now they can't meet real men. They can only meet these douchebag, scumbag scammers who are little pussy soy boys and could get knocked out at any fight one punch, I bet. I wish they'd come step up to me. I'd show them. But they're too cowardly. These fucking terrorists. They know America's got nukes. They know Americans got arms, and I'm not talking about guns. I'm talking about our arms. I'll beat the shit out of them with, like it's COVID and they're getting beat by a cop with a stick. I'll just knock their asses the fuck out, these fucking scammer pieces of shit. These people don't deserve life at all. They don't deserve a life at all if they're doing this shit to any American at all. When you interfere with an American finding love, you are the most evil piece of fucking garbage on the planet. This is something even anonymous hackers wouldn't do. If you got me so mad that I was to even consider to do this to you, I would just take your ass out. I would just shoot you in the head. There's no amount of anger you could get me in to make me hack your dating app. Ever. Even if it's an easy target. I would instead just try to maybe, I don't know, maybe I would just blag it out a little bit and piss you off that way. I wouldn't stop you from fucking connecting. I mean, that's the most petty fucking thing, the most low ball blow you could do, like the most low, the lowest blow to the balls that you could do. This is the most scummy thing you could possibly do on the planet. You are a worthless little coward bitch. The federal government needs to come after you and send you to Guantanamo Bay because you are a terrorist. You are an unethical, unmoral. You are an unethical terrorist with no morals at all. And they'll probably make fun of how I just said that, but they can't even pronounce it right. These fucking pieces of shit. Stay the fuck away from my fucking country, you fucking terrorist. Shouldn't you be concerned about China? Aren't they trying to take your land right now? Aren't you in a border dispute with China? The people you're allegedly in alliance with? Maybe you should be more concerned about them and your border, and less concerned about Americans and our dating apps. You scumbag, evil piece of shit. Whoever you may be, whether you're a dothead, whether you're illegal aliens or whatever, maybe you should be concerned about something more important. And stop worrying about individuals that have nothing besides for maybe a website and a couple other things. There are literal billionaire trillionaires, literal billionaires who own trillion-dollar companies, or at very least, we could say their families all together own trillions. And you're coming after me, the guy who literally has less than $5,000 to his name. You're coming after a guy who literally has less than $5,000 to his name. That's how much of a low-life scumbag loser you are. You piece of shit fucking hacker. And you know, you've been hacking my credit card because I've had to dispute about 10 transactions so far. So you are a terrorist. You are a scammer. You are a thief. You're not coming after me for any just-worthy cause at all. You are the one who is evil 100%. You have no just-worthy cause at all to do this to me whatsoever. And that's what makes me think you're not even doing it. It's not even. I must not even be getting hacked. I really theorize that sometimes. I must not even be getting it. I look around. Every woman's just a crack whore. They are all scammers. They're all scamming for crack. Maybe my real enemy is just the black people and the cartels and ISIS and any other commie or piece of shit who thinks it's okay to sell drugs to American women. Maybe that's who my real enemy is, the drug dealers. Just drug dealers in general. We could just say drug dealers need their fucking heads cut off in public squares for every American boy and man to watch and enjoy. That would solve everything. Americans would not be a declining population anymore. America would not be dying anymore. The economy would not be shit anymore. If we just were to kill every single drug dealer, hardcore drug dealer in our town, just in our town alone, the economy in the entire country would be better. If we were just to kill these scumbags. We can make it legal. We can make it happen. This is America. We could do it. We must do it. We have to do it. We need to send these fucking terrorists where they belong. To hell. Straight to hell where they belong. For all of eternity. They will never come back. This is their one and only life and they screwed it up. We need to send them to hell now. I am a true believer of it. I would debate with a judge about it in court. This should be implemented everywhere. I would go to the highest levels, to Supreme Court, everything. And I would talk about it, and I would lay down my opinions and my facts, and I would present it all as well as I possibly can to show you, to paint this perfect picture in your mind, why we must murder every drug dealer, every hardcore drug dealer. Not the shroom dealers, not the pot dealers. I'm talking just heroin, crack, meth, Molly, pixie dust, and maybe just a few others. Hardcore smack. Smack dealers need to be smacked until they're dead. Until they're dead. That could be another punishment. We could just smack them in our public squares. One of our public squares could be right. Oneida Square would be a perfect spot to do it. We can take out tons of dealers at Oneida Square. There's already a couple over there right now selling their shit. We could start with them first. We could round them up, and we could hang them. We could beat them to death. We could behead them with the guillotines. We can shoot them. That'd be another good one, yeah. We can shoot them. We could do it. We're already taking Americans' rights away if they even say a joke online. We're already taking all Americans' rights away. We may as well start killing the evil terrorist drug dealers, because that's what they are, evil terrorist drug dealers. That's what every hardcore smack drug dealer is, an evil terrorist. Every single one of them. I don't care if they work for Al-Qaeda. I don't care if they're Muslim or not. Doesn't change anything. You sell the hardcore smack, you are a terrorist. You need to be drone striked. You're not one of us. Plain and simple. Their dating apps need to be hacked. So that way we could triangulate where they are. And we could kidnap them. Legally. And we could bring them to these public squares and have them killed on a certain date. Maybe once a month on the weekend. There'll be a killing. Or there'll be a public event. Depending on how many of them we get rid of. If we get rid of all of them, we'll just start doing public events there. We'll have the mayor show up and shit. We'll do live events and stuff, music and stuff. We'll have food carts. It'd be great. Life would be so much better without these scumbags destroying everything. Making me feel like my dating app is hacked, when in reality it's probably not even hacked. No real women are just using the app at all. There's just no real, they're all scammers. All the women in this area are hardcore drug addicts, and they're all scammers, plain and simple. There are no real single women in this area who are sane and normal, who are looking for a man on those dating apps at all. I know for a fact. They're all addicted to crack. They're all hardcore drug addicts. I know because I've had multiple friends in this area. I've had a lot of friends in this area. I know they're all no good drug addicts. They're all scumbags. They all want to get drugs prescribed to them by their doctors. They're all faking their illness for more drugs. They're all a bunch of losers. They'll get themselves killed by their doctor just to get more drugs prescribed to them. I mean, these people will literally do the radiation, they'll do the chemo just to get the drugs. And I'm not saying anybody I know is doing that. I'm just saying it's very likely that people are doing that. Somebody out there's doing that. And it goes to show you, if even one person's doing it, it's a lot more prevalent than you would think. And that's just how bad people are. They will literally kill themselves almost just for drugs. They're not hackers. They're too stupid to hack. The people in this area are too stupid to do anything. You look at their homes, they're all living in trash. They don't even have furniture in their homes. Half of them are squatting. Half of the homes in this fucking town are for sale right now. They're just not on the market yet because they either got taken down off the market because nobody wanted the shithole, or nobody could afford it, or the people who own it just haven't gotten rid of it yet. And they're still focusing on all their properties they're trying to get rid of. That's how it seems like when you drive around here. A lot of homes are like that. It almost seems like half of the homes are like that. Literally, society is that bad right now. Literally. There's no way it's a hack. I mean, I might be still getting hacked, but I don't think it's the hacker doing that on the dating app. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It is possible. But I don't think so. I really think this is just the side effect of living in a shithole society with scumbags all around you. your dating apps will look like they're hacked, but in reality, it's just they're all scammer whores, and they're all trying to scam you. And that could be the only reason why I'm alone right now. The only fucking reason I'm alone right now is because all the women in this area are drug addict losers. Even my ex, she would hide it so good. I never caught it. But I would smell it on her all the time because I knew what heroin smelled like because Nolan Simile showed me his heroin at the park. He asked me if I wanted to smoke it with him. I was like, hell no, but I want to smell it. And I got a good whiff of it. I said, I want to look at it, I want to smell it. I looked at it, I got a smell of it, I know exactly what that shit is. And believe me, it would smell like that in my house. So unless the previous owners hid it in the fucking wall, that bitch was smoking it every time I was gone. Every time I'd come home, I'd smell it. Or she was injecting it, probably putting in a spoon. I did find a spoon in my mother's attic. I found a big giant spoon in my mother's attic while we were cleaning it out. The only person that would put that spoon there is my ex. That's the only person that... So, and her brother also shoots up heroin. So it's very likely if her brother's doing it, she's also doing it. It's very likely. And I smelled it on her spoon. Every time she'd heat it up in the spoon, I'd smell it in the house. The whole house would smell like it. So even my ex, who claimed to love me so much, even her was a heroin addict. Every fucking woman in this area is a fucking heroin addict, a crack addict, a meth junkie, or one or the other. Or something like it. Like my mother, for example, she's a Xanax addict. She's addicted to Xanax. She has a very bad addiction problem, you could tell. She used to be addicted to something else, and she's hiding it from us. Whether that was crack, coke, meth, speed, whatever the fuck speed is. Oh yeah, caffeine. Maybe she was badly addicted to caffeine. I doubt that. When she said she tried speed in school, speed is slang for meth, but she claims it was slang for caffeine. She told me this when I was a kid. She accidentally said it to me She accidentally said it in front of me once when I was a kid, thinking I wouldn't remember it or some shit. So it really goes to show you. And her boyfriend right now is allegedly an ex-crack addict. Was convicted and everything, I guess, or some shit. He's just now starting to turn his life around for the better. He's doing great. But regardless, I'm just saying, this is what I'm trying to tell you is I'm trying to paint the picture of just how bad it is here. We have ex-crackheads walking around with my mother. Having a great life. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. I really am. But I'm just telling you, like, this is how bad it is. It seems like everyone is on the shit. It just seems like everyone is on it. It almost seems like the only way I'd be able to get a woman in this town is if I was to become a drug addict loser like them. It seems like the only way I'd be able to become a ladies' man, as you'd call it, or as these scumbags would call it. They think you're only a ladies' man if you sell coke. And I know a couple coke dealers. I was friends with through one of my friends. I wasn't really friends with him, but I was acquaintance, better to say. I was acquaintances with these coke dealers, so I know firsthand. They get a lot of women. They have a lot of friends. And me, on the other hand, I have nothing at all. Zero. Nothing. Because I don't deal coke. That's why. Because I'm not a piece of shit fucking loser. That's why. I don't have ghost guns. I'm not a scumbag. I'm not a scary psychopath. I don't join gangs and threaten to murder people with my gang. If I have a personal vendetta with someone, I'm going to go after them myself personally. And it would have to be a very extreme reason. They would have had to beat my mother to a bloody pulp. It would have to be very extreme. I'm not just going to go after somebody for some stupid-ass little reason like these fucking little pussy-ass fucking coke-dealing, coke addict fucking soy boys do. They're all a bunch of snowflake fucking scumbags. And the fact that they even get any women at all is 100% proof that society is so far gone. The bar has been dropped so low that it is at the curb with a bunch of bums with fucking shit and fucking mice and fucking garbage all over the bar. The metaphorical bar that symbolizes society and how it acts and how it behaves and how it functions. And it barely functions at all. It is on a string, hanging there by a thread, about to literally fall. Like a piano on a rope being lowered down from a tower, about to smash into pieces all over a sidewalk. With some random innocent guy who works very hard and is a janitor at the bottom of it, about to get splattered to bits. Because he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And he didn't get paid enough. And no woman ever wanted him because of that. Because they're all crack addict losers. And you gotta be a millionaire to have a woman now in this fucking day and age. People like my mother, they say I'm crazy just because they want me to get drugs prescribed to me. Because she'll buy them. Because she sells and buys the fucking pills. I reported that about her at the psych ward. I don't think they ever told anybody, though. Because they don't believe the crazy people in the psych ward. Literally, a crazy person could have saw like a seriopathic killer kill everybody. And he could tell everybody, look, I know who did it. But they won't believe him. Nobody believes the crazy person. Nobody. I have to have witnesses. I have to have evidence just to get anybody in a court to believe me. Because I was diagnosed one time with some disorder that I don't have. We live in a drug world where a bunch of drug dealers push their drugs on everybody as quick as they possibly can without question. There is no brain exam. There is no piss exam. There is no blood exam to prove whether or not a person has a chemical imbalance. For you to drug them the way you do is just an experiment. It's just an experiment. They treat us like guinea pigs. They use their drugs on people for experiments. That's how much they push their drugs in the society. They'll push it on anybody. You even make a joke. You make even a joke,
If the cop doesn't like it and sends you, it doesn't matter what you tell the psychiatrist, they're taking you in. They're taking you in no matter what. Especially if they're low on crazy people. Which that's not common in America at all. 1/3 of people are crazy. So maybe there is a chance you could get out of it. You could say, I never said that. The cop misunderstood me or something. If they're overfilled with people, they'll say, oh, okay, you're not crazy, and they'll let you go. That actually happened to me once or twice. Where you end up in the hospital in the ER room where they take in the crazy people at first. And, the cop sent you there because he thought you needed it. The cop you'd think would know best, right? But the psychiatrist says, no, you're fine, you could go home. Because they have enough patients drugged. They don't need to drug any more patients. That's why. It's all about drugging people. Everyone in this community is drugged. They're all on drugs. 1/3 of people are on drugs because it's prescribed to them. Another 1/3 of people are on drugs because they want to be on the drugs. The other 1/3 of the people are fucking clueless and have no idea what's going on around them at all. 2/3 of people in this society are drug addicts. They need their hardcore drugs to get by. They are drug addicts. We're not talking about light drugs either, like tobacco or alcohol, or even some forms of food, I guess you could say, like caffeine, sugar. We're talking about this hardcore shit. We're talking about shit that has bad side effects. Shit that has really, really bad side effects, like Abilify, that has a side effect that could actually, it says it can kill you. Uncontrollable muscle movements and death is both two side effects of Abilify that you do not want to experience at all. For them to even test that on a patient is completely deranged and psychotic and evil. I don't care what that patient ever said. That patient could say he wants to rape baby dolphins. There's no excuse to kill that patient at all. You are evil. You are crazy. You're the one who's crazy. You're the one who's wrong. You're a drug dealer. You're a piece of shit. There's nothing wrong with that patient at all. Matter of fact, he should be put on a fucking pedestal and he should have a fucking loudspeaker echo his fucking voice so we could all hear it and laugh at him. Because it's normal to be crazy now. Because we have these doctors normalizing it by killing all their patients. So now it's normal to be crazy. There's nothing wrong with it at all. So don't lock them up, don't drug them. Give them a platform. Give them views. I have no problem with crazy people at all. I see crazy people at McDonald's all the time. The one guy, he screams about aliens. He scares me a little bit. Sure, I'm a little scared. That's why you get a weapon before you go outside, you fucking soy boy. We have literal terrorists jumping over our border. You're too afraid to even bring a gun with you when you go shopping. Because you're a fucking pansy-ass little bitch. That's why. You can't even bring a knife and some pepper spray. Because you're a pansy-ass little bitch. That's why. If a terrorist attack happens, you're going to be like them dumb New York City people who are in the subway. And the gunfire was going off when they were on the train, loading on the train. And they were screaming, "Close the door! Close the door!" And they were all cowered and they were all squatting down, cowered and crying. "Close the door! Oh, I'm so scared. The shooter might get us." I mean, if they at least had some pepper spray, they'd at least not look as scared and weak and dumb. They'd at least be waiting for the guy to come in so they could spray him and take his gun from him and survive instead of all dying. But the way these idiots are, they'll all die. They'll all die. If the guy's got enough bullets, he could just kill them all. And you pansy-ass little bitches won't do anything to stop him. It'd be another Twin Towers all over again. I mean, you had a plane full of people, and they couldn't stop 5 fucking little weak fucking towel heads. There was 100 fucking passengers on that flight. None of them could have stopped them towel heads because they were all cowards. They were all little bitches. They were all pansies. They were all soy boys. They were all social justice warriors. That's why they couldn't stop them. That's why I laugh when I see these terrorist attacks happen. I'm like, I could have prevented that one. I could have prevented that one. Oh, I could have prevented that one. Oh, another one I could have prevented. These scumbag little pussies will just say I'm crazy. They'll say you gotta just let them kill you when they come. That's how fucking cowardly and dumb these fucking psychos are. They're the psychos. They're the crazy. They're all on drugs. You look at my parents, they're all fat. They're all fucking on drugs. Hardcore drugs that get them really, really high. They're all obese. Obesity is the number one sign that you have an addiction problem. The next would be gambling. They all gamble. They're all obese. They're all on hardcore drugs that get them high. It doesn't matter if it's prescribed to them or if they're buying it from the trying to think of a less racist term to use. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they get their shit from. It's disgusting. It's wrong. It's bad either way. And there's alternatives. There's There's tons and tons of alternatives they don't even want to think about. They don't want it. They'll freak it. They'll freak out. They'll freak out. If you even try to take away their medicine, these people will have panic attacks. It will kill them. It'll kill them. It quite possibly will just kill them. Or at very least, they might go back to the street corner and start sucking and blowing for their shit. From their pimps. Like back in the 80s. How it was in the 80s. They'd all hang out at the park, prostituting their bodies. They weren't friends with each other. Maybe some of them had friends, but I mean, they were all there to just prostitute and sell drugs. They were all a bunch of losers. Degenerate 80s losers. They think they're better than us. They think they're stronger than us, whatever. First off, strength doesn't even matter at all. They're not stronger regardless. They're a lot fatter. A lot of them are fatter. A lot of them didn't smoke when they were kids because they had perfect childhoods. So they were able to fully develop when they were young. Unlike my generation, everyone was smoking at 12 before we even hit puberty. And it just seems like it gets worse and worse. Luckily, we have vaping now to save us. Kids are just vaping now. It's a lot better for their health. I'm not sure what nicotine does to their growth, but I know that the smoke is the worst thing imaginable. I did the research on it. What it does to your lungs is it literally cuts your lungs open, makes them bleed and shit, and then your body goes into full healing mode, overtime mode, full healing overtime mode to fix it. And while it's fixing your lungs, the rest of your body stays dormant. you don't grow. Your penis will stay the same size. You won't ever get any taller. And that's why we see so many little midgets now in the younger generation, not my generation, but the one a few years, not generations, a few years below me. They're way smaller. They're just getting smaller and smaller, it seems. But luckily, the price of cigarettes goes up. A pack of Marlboros are $15 a pack. It used to be, when I was a kid, like $9. So that's it. As horrible as it seems, it's actually a good thing, though. It's basically like we're legalizing suicide boots. It might be, it might be taking away people's freedoms, but it's helping them. It's saving their asses. Because now they're less likely to buy these fucking cigarettes and more likely to vape instead or to quit or to go get help and go to rehab. Like a lot of these people really need to go do it. I'm actually thinking about doing it myself. Now that I'm talking about it, that might be actually a good option for me right now because I just got into an argument with my dad. Could be a good break from him. Get myself sober, help me save even more money so I could get out of here even quicker and start my life somewhere else. Somewhere where I'd be way better off, where there's more people, less likely that they're all on drugs. It'd be a lot less likely that they'd all be on drugs. Even if it's a gambling town, like let's say Miami, Biloxi, or Vegas. Even these deplorable cities that are turning liberal, even though they're in the South, a lot of them, even they, are bigger than Utica. So it's more likely for me to find what I'm looking for, love and friendship. Here, there's no way in how I'm going to find that. There's none of that in sight at all. There's a bunch of scumbag whores all around me. There's women that are 4 years younger than me. They look like they're 40 years older than me. They're all around me. Besides for people like that, there's really no women even around here. So it's just we're such a dead population, and it's such a shit fucking area where it snows so heavily. Our area of Utica, New York, snows more than anywhere else in America besides for up on mountains. At this elevation, we get the most snow out of any other fucking city, I think. Maybe Syracuse has us beat. I don't know if they're even at the same elevation as us or not, but I guess better to say is our whole area, CNY. CNY gets hit so bad because of the Great Lakes. The snow effect, or that's what they claim it is. Could also be other things too. All the air pollution causes clouds to form. People vaping, for an example. I mean, there's not enough of us vaping, but I'm sure if all of us vaped all at once, we could form some clouds and we could add to it and we could make it worse. And then that's nothing though when you compare it to contrails or chemtrails, whatever, or geoengineering, whatever it is. But anyways, it don't matter. I'm back on point. This area is so shitty that we got the most snow out of any other fucking area. We got the shittiest housing. The price of houses was so low at one time you could almost get it for free. The houses were like $20,000 for a four family. Imagine if you could go back in time and buy that house for $20,000, you would be able to flip that money. You would make over $200,000 off of that property now. Now that the house and property market is going back up, the economy's getting better because the 80s crack pandemic is over with. So the economy is getting a lot better, but it's still pretty shitty. And when you look around, there's still a lot of crack addict crack whores all around. They're just doing less illegal activities now because they're on camera, so they get away less with crime at Walmart and shit like that. So the economy doesn't get affected as hard. So we are doing a lot better now because of that. Because all these losers all around me, they can't rob and cheat as much anymore. They get caught quicker. We got hacking now too and shit. I mean, they can't do anything. We are so aware of what their operations, what they are, who these people are, what they're doing. We are so aware of it all. They got federal agents watching them. They got NSA watching them. They got the fucking police watching them. These people are being watched from all angles. So they are very paranoid. They barely even do their drug deals anymore. And that's just because they have to, because they're desperately addicted to it. But because it's so hard now and the prices of their shit is going up, they'll do less and less of it. So they're actually getting better. These people are getting better. They're becoming better people. But they're still scumbags. They still don't like you if you don't like their drugs. So people like me are still going to end up being alone forever if I stay here forever, which I can't do. That's why places like, let's say, Biloxi, Vegas, Oklahoma City, Miami City, those are ideal places for me because they're bigger populations. Well, actually, Biloxi isn't bigger, but it has more tourists. They're bigger populations. They have more people. And they have more things to do. It's warmer. That's all other thing. Because of the fact it's more warm, I'm more likely to meet a woman. Because now I'm going to be outside more. I'm going to be around people more. I'm going to be more used to people. And the more comfortable I get with people, the more likely I am to meet a stranger and talk to her. Right now, I'm very shy. I'm not used to it. I just went to the casino not too long ago, and I almost felt like I was on a stage. I felt very shy. That's not good at all. This is not how Americans should be. This is why our population is declining. This is another reason why our fucking economy is so shitty right now. This is why Walmart can't afford these scumbag criminals robbing them. Because they don't have the people even to work for them. They're hiring people all the time. And the people that work for them don't do a good enough job. And it really is, there really is a bad problem in the society. And there's a bunch of different things at play. So much so that I don't even know if killing all dealers would do anything. If it would make my dating app all of a sudden work again. And then I'd be able to find real women that don't send phishing links. I don't know, because even then, even if you get rid of the drug dealers, there's still makeup, there's still stupid wigs, there's still expensive cars, there's still jewelry, there's still mansions these women are addicted to. There's still food. You know, a lot of them are obese, these women. They're going to be addicted to shit no matter what. They're going to have addictive personalities. They're going to be scumbags no matter what. They're going to look like they're 40 years older than me no matter what. Even if you get her off for the smack, even if you get her away from her abusive boyfriend who raped her on the bus, that Puerto Rican, she's still going to be the same way. You're never going to make her a better daughter. She's always going to be the little crack whore, the little elderly old lady that she is. Looking like a little old lady when she's actually younger than me. And that's just the way it's going to be no matter what. Because she'll stay up all night researching things about makeup when she should be sleeping and worried about her job the next day or her kids. It's a personality problem. It's like a mental health crisis. It really is like a mental health crisis. It's like a mental health crisis. It's not exactly, though. It's a personality crisis. We have a lot of shit personalities, and I blame the 80s crack pandemic. It's because their parents were abusive. Where's her father? Where's this bitch's father? Her fucking father should be there for her and tell her to fucking hook up with her neighbor, who's allegedly so crazy that he's got all this money and he works hard and he's about to move out of state and make a better life for himself. But no, her father ain't there to say shit. Instead, she's got a stepfather probably raping her. I mean, this is what's really going on in America. And her stepfather's on crack. They party all the time. And the mother's cheating with a black guy in a big black SUV. This shit happens all the time in America. This is very common. Where's the father? The father's probably in prison for some gang stunt, selling crack cocaine for the mafia. That's probably where the father is. Long gone. Never gonna return. Probably doesn't even give a shit about his daughter. So, when you really look around and you see this shit, it's everywhere. It's so close. It's so close to you. You really start to see the bigger picture. You really start to think about it more clearly. Maybe you're not getting hacked. Maybe it's just these women around here are so deplorable. It's a personality crisis. And it's a side effect of the 80s crack pandemic. It's their generation who destroyed this country. It's their generation who let the jobs go overseas to China. It's their generation who made the black people act the way they do because they were so racist to them. It's their generation who made America so bad the way it is today. It's their generation who caused all the obesity. It's their generation that caused the economy to collapse. It's their generation that killed off their own parents, labeled them as the bad guy, labeled them as abusive, when their parents never even touched them a day in their life, not even with a belt. It's their generation, the 80s crack pandemic generation, that has destroyed America, and we're still feeling the horrible side effects of it to this day. Where guys like me can't even get a work and dating app because all the women around here are on crack and they're all trying to scam me with phishing links. These are real women. I'm not getting hacked. These are real women. I'm not getting hacked by some terrorist Al-Qaeda member overseas who's scamming every American and trying to rape old ladies to death so he could take the inheritance money because they're disgusting goat fuckers. It's not a hacker. It is indeed just an epidemic. I mean, it's just a side effect of the 80s crack pandemic. And it has become what I would call a personality pandemic. Not a mental health crisis, but a personality crisis. Because these people are all addicts. They're just like their parents. I suffer from it too. I have a lot of addiction problems. I have to vape all the time, or I'm going to, I get the shakes a little bit. I get that addictive feelings. That's a sign of addictive personality. That's a sign that you could be a crack baby, or at very least an alcoholic baby. That's a very, very telltale sign of that. You have addiction problems because your 80s crack pandemic parents were such losers. They couldn't control themselves. And that's why they're so abusive to us about it. They'll tell us to go to bed early, or they'll tell us to not party, or tell us not to do any drugs. They'll even come after weed, something that's completely innocent. Because weed's a gateway drug a lot of times, and people will lace your weed. And that's why they're so worried. They're worried somebody's going to lace your weed. Assuming that you might be a kid listening right now, or some kid might be listening. They're worried. They're not worried that weed's bad for you. It's not bad for you at all. You know it's not bad for you. I've been smoking it this whole time. I'm talking just fine. I've also am a person who has received multiple concussions throughout my life. I have no education whatsoever. I come from a family who swears all the time like a sailor. I'm a very uneducated person. That's just how I am. That's just how I was raised. But even I am able to talk and be able to form these sentences and have this narrative and this viewpoint. I'm not a robot. I'm a real fucking person. They didn't kill me in the psych ward and replace me with a robot. I am a real person. Cannabis does not kill your brain cells whatsoever. If it did, if cannabis was like sniffing paint, I would not be able to talk right now at all. If cannabis was the way they want you to believe it is when they talk to you in grade school, I wouldn't be able to function at all. You know, those booze goggles, those are fake. That's not how you actually see things when you're drunk. Those are fake. It's all fake. They're all liars, but they're doing it for a good reason. They are doing it for a good reason. They want you to stay away from the crack like they're on. Because a lot of them are on it. They're secretly on it. They're good at hiding it. You could tell they're all really, they talk fast. They have, their eyes are wide open. They got bloodshot eyes. A lot of them have blue eyes. I'm not that matters. I mean, they could have any color eye, but they talk really, really fast. They're cops. They're all, you know, they all grew up during the crack pandemic, just like all the other 80s babies and all the other 80s teens and 80s whatever. They're all 80s crack pandemic people. They're all from the 80s generation. So they know just how bad it can be. They know just how dangerous it can be. They know that some meth junkie out there is going to put crack in your pot, and they don't want you to smoke it, because if you end up as a crackhead like them, your life could be ruined like theirs almost was. That's why, like, all their friends' lives were ruined. They have a lot of crackhead friends who had their lives ruined because of the stuff. That's why they don't want you to touch the stuff, because it's so bad for your health and for your mental well-being. Crack is only good for pain relief, extreme pain relief. If you have holes in your skull, you might need it. If you're in a hospital bed having convulsions because of the pain, you might need some crack. Besides for that, you don't need crack at all. The pain has to be so bad that you're having a mini heart attack, like literally. Otherwise, you don't need it. And there are alternatives out there that are just as powerful. This is a very addictive substance that is being controlled by the cartel, being controlled by mafia, being controlled by gangs, being controlled by communists and terrorists, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Taliban. They control these drugs. And that's why the police want you to stay away from the stuff. They don't want you to be on the same stuff as your parents are on. Knowing for a fact your parents are definitely on it, if you could hear me. Because you'll end up like a loser like them. Sitting at home all day, complaining about your crazy neighbor who yells once a week. Barely being able to move because you're so high. Claiming it's from pain when you're not in any pain at all. You can't feel a goddamn thing at all. These are heroin addicts. These are crack addicts all around me. I don't care if it's prescribed to them. I don't care. Doesn't change anything. Unless they really need it. Unless they really, really need it. That's their only excuse. I saved myself there. Because some of them, I think one of them might actually need it. I'm not sure. I don't know how he feels deep down inside. I didn't live his life. I didn't work for him. If I saw how he worked, maybe I'd feel that way. Maybe I wouldn't feel that way at all. Or maybe I'd be on his side completely. However you want to look at it. Maybe I'd be on his side completely. I'd be like, yeah, you need whatever you want, man. Because removing asbestos, for an example, is a horrible fucking job. And there's too many lazy-ass, punk-ass little bitches around here, Nazi scumbags, who just want to work at that job just to get some asbestos in their pockets and walk off with it. And, I mean, they don't even realize how bad it is. They think it's a joke. They'll snort the stuff because they tested it on someone they don't like and it didn't do anything to them. So they're like, oh, this stuff's not bad. And they snort it. They end up dying from cancer a little later on. That's what they get. It really is that bad. It really is that toxic. It really is that dangerous. I'm still having side effects from it being in this room that I'm in right now. I removed it myself. I had to throw it out. I might have even did it illegally. I don't know what the fuck I just had to get rid of it. I don't know if it even was it or not. I don't know. I just had to get rid of it. All I know is I was having horrible breathing problems after I removed that shit. Some of the dust got in my lungs. And ever since, I've been having horrible breathing problems. If I'm even around smoke at all, I start having asthma attacks. And that's not normal for me. I used to be a heavy smoker. So asbestos really is dangerous. It really is toxic. It really is bad. It really will stay in your lungs forever, and it will kill you. So me and the neighbors, we're dead because of my dad. Thanks a lot. Anyways, that's a whole other topic to talk about. Because he wasn't trained good enough because the dumbasses, his buddies said it would be okay not to get trained good enough. I don't care what color their eyes are, what skin color they are. It doesn't matter. They're scumbags are scumbags. You don't tell a man that he doesn't need to be trained properly. When there was no internet back there, it's not like back then. It wasn't like he could look it up. He might have not even known it was illegal. Or even if he did, he probably didn't even think it was that big of a deal. Like, it was like, what, maybe going 1 mile over the speed limit, maybe, in his mind. Like, that's not that big of a deal. Going a little fast. But no, in reality, it's more like you went 20, 30 over the limit. You might get arrested. That's how serious of a crime it was. Hell, even littered, if you want to use that for an example, too. But whose fault was it? The people that convinced him into it. I blame them entirely. The people that convinced him it'd be okay. I just realized I'm way off topic now. I want to get more back on topic. So, allegedly, there are more single women my father's age than there are my age. This is allegedly what the case. And the reason for this this theory is that because more men die than women at such a young age, that there's going to be more women than there's going to be men at his age. So that brings me to the topic, the idea that he's actually more likely to find an older woman than I am on a dating app. But when I went on the dating apps, I didn't see any older women at all. At all. I had it set to see everyone. A few times I had it like that just as a social experiment. A couple other times I had it like that just by accident. It was just like I just installed the app. I logged in. It was set to it was already set like that in the options. I didn't figure that out until 200 swipes. But anyways, I didn't find any at all. The oldest I would find is 30. It seems like 30 is the age for women to go on dating apps. And they were all scammers. Every single one of them. So unless I'm getting hacked, all the women in this area are just drug addict losers. And somehow they're getting access to these malware links. And I don't know if they actually know anything about these links. Like, do they program it, or are they just script kiddies? Who are these people? And how do they get these links that have known malware installed into them? Really makes you wonder. It really makes you think. What the fuck is going on around here? Really, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm almost convinced there is no internet at all. Like, it sounds so crazy. It sounds so retarded. Like, I'm talking into my phone as I say this. But I've actually theorized this before. I'm like, what if there's just no internet? Because how? I'm thinking, how could we live in America and this be happening to me? How can this even be possible? I've messaged thousands of people. They've all sent me a phishing link with malware on it. Or malware in it. However you want to look at it. All these links had malware. All of them. Except for one. One was an actual website. It was a fuck hookup site where you just hook up with people to fuck. And then you see what happens later on. Which I think is a great idea. Even though I'm actually looking for real love. I think it's a great idea just to, like, if you're attracted to a person and you're desperate and you're at the point where you're like, fuck it, I'll just fall in love with anybody, I think it's best to have sex with them first before deciding anything about love at all. Because, you know, you don't want to fall in love with somebody who you're going to end up hating, you're going to end up fighting with all the time. You're better off having a little quick sex and figuring out who are they, what do they smell like, what do they taste like, even maybe, if they're into that. Things like that. Before you just fucking say, okay, yeah, let's fall in love. Like some high school kids would. Like I was with my ex. Just really, I was just being a fuckboy. I just wanted sex back then. That was all I was really... I just wanted to, like, lose my virginity more. That's all it was really about. And I already lost it at that point with her. I mean, before her. But it was kind of like that. Where I was just a horny kid wanting to try it out. I didn't care what it smelled like. I didn't care what it tasted like. I didn't care what it looked like. I didn't care what it acted like. And that was wrong. That was so stupid. That's why me and her didn't end up being actual lovers in the end. That was probably the main reason right there. I didn't actually get to know her first. I was rushing into it way too fast. There was no real love there at all because of it. I forget what I was getting to. I think I had a good point I wanted to get to, but I forget it now. I don't even think I'd get somebody to watch this long of a video. Because who am I? Just some random nobody. I feel like at most I could probably get somebody to watch like an hour. I think I've watched like a couple videos from some nobodies for an hour. I was like, who's this crazy guy? Let me see what he's talking about. Especially if he's like in the same group as me or some shit, or if he's in the same topic as me, then I'm more willing to watch the video. But anything over an hour, I'm like, dude, this is fucking too much. It don't matter what he's talking about, unless it's something I really, really care about. And I don't know if this topic is really that important. Unless you're going through the same thing I'm going through, then this might be like, your ears might be, you know, wide open, fully erect. Like... You might be trying to figure out what's going on, too. You might also be concerned about it. You might also be wondering, what's happening to your country, America? The most free nation on planet Earth. We have these women running around trying to enslave everybody with their fishing links. Well, what happened to these women? Are they enslaved, too? It really makes you wonder. Is every woman in town a slave? They're all slaves for crack? You got to protect your nose, and you got to watch out for needles. Because they'll get you high. They'll get you high as a kite. You got to bring a knife with you everywhere you go, or pepper spray if you could get that. And you just got to stab them if they try to poke you first. Just stab them. If they come after you with a needle, that's literally like coming after you with a knife. You can legally stab them. If they come after you with powders, a powdery substance, that's a chemical attack. That's using a deadly weapon. You can also use your knife on them at that point, too. So I'm just telling you to be prepared. You always bring a knife on you everywhere you go, because this shit could actually happen to someone. You could end up as their slave. You'll end up sending links to people on dating apps all day long. And the cops will wonder, who are these people? And when they figure it out, your ass will be grass in jail. So unless you want to live in prison, you should really protect yourself and your family. Be concerned about them. Before it's too late, before they go run off and be all alone with some crack dealer or some shit. Or worse. Because that's what end up happening. They'll go run off and they'll go live with some crack dealer. And you'll never see them ever again in your family. Ever again. I got a couple people like that in my family who I think they actually went missing a couple times. And the whole family was worried for them. This is stuff that actually happens. Sometimes they don't even go far. Sometimes they get trafficked right in our town. And when I say trafficked, I mean like literally trafficked. Like her boyfriend is abusive. Her boyfriend is forcing her to sell her body. He'll say, oh, it's so we can pay the bills. It's your fault for smoking all of our smack. And then he'll throw her in a van and she'll get raped. This is shit that's really going on in our country around us to this day. Right now, even though it's not 80s crack pandemic no more. But they're way more under the radar about it. They're not out in the open. Like, let's say you watch a mobster movie. Those guys are out in the open with their crime. They'd be like, are you looking at me? I'll blast you. Right out in public. Right in front of a cop. Because back then, even the cars weren't as good. I mean, the cars only drove like 80 miles per hour at most back in the 80s. Maybe they went a little over 100, barely at all. Their cars were slower. Everything was slower. Their shit was shittier. There was no cameras at all. So if you could just run away from the cop, all they'd have to do is shoot at the cop. Boom, boom, boom. The cop runs. He hides. They run. They hide. There's no cameras to show the cop where he went. He could be right in the bushes right around the corner. The cop can literally walk right by him. They would never know he was there. See, back in the 80s, it was like that. But now, everybody has a camera pointing outside their house at the street. It's a lot more difficult for people. That's how it should be. I'm all for it. You might not think that because sometimes I get a little crazy too, and I'm Italian, I have a mobster name, but I'm not in the mafia. I don't do that shit. I'm glad it's like this. I'm very glad it's like this. This is how it should be. You should feel watched at every corner. You really should. For your safety and for others' safety. So, we know there's still criminals out there. We know this. But they're more under the radar. So now they're doing other things. They're not just shooting people in broad daylight now. Now they're doing things more under the radar. They're doing things more hidden. Instead of shooting me, they're hacking me. Instead of killing me, they're killing my family tree by stopping me from meeting a woman. They'll hack my dating app. Or they'll drug every woman in town. Women are very easy to control, very easy to manipulate. They're very easy to drug. I never tried that, but they're very easy to persuade. I know that. They're very easily persuadable. They're pushovers. When it comes to that. So, it's very likely that's going on. And I know a lot of people in my family, old friends of mine, who have personally been raped. It's not just them. It didn't just happen to them. This is happening to a ton of women around here. So we know there's still crime going on around here. We know it's more under the radar now. And we know these coward little bitches are going to target women. We know this now. This is why I think if we just start killing all drug dealers, it could solve everything. Because drugs is what they use to enslave these women. You can't enslave someone fully without drugs. I mean, you could kidnap them, you could hold them against their will, you can force them to do things, but it's not real enslavement. Real enslavement is when, let's say back in the day, where every single cop would agree that blacks were slaves and they weren't allowed to be free. So that even if the blacks were to escape, they'd end up right back where they were. That was real slavery. Another form of real slavery is when the person won't escape at all because they don't want to escape. That's another form of slavery. Now, you got to be really careful with that form of slavery, though, because there's different forms of it. There's actually moral, ethical versions of it. You could say I kind of was like enslaving my ex-girlfriend. In a way, I was very mentally, emotionally abusive to her, but I made her want to stay. She never wanted to leave me. You could say it was for lust. You could say it was for money. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact that she was being treated badly and she felt like she was forced to stay was a form of slavery. But it was a moral, ethical version of it where I didn't do anything wrong at all. She was allowing it to happen. I was trying to better her in a lot of ways as well. I was pleasuring her in a lot of ways as well, also. So it wasn't like full-on slavery. It wasn't like an evil version of slavery, like what's happening to some women around here. They end up on drugs. They end up getting forced to have sex with. They end up getting beaten. I mean, they end up getting forced into sex and they end up getting beaten. That's real slavery. That really happened to real women I know in this real world we really live in. I'm not in some matrix in a hospital bed somewhere. It's St. Elizabeth. This is the real world. I know. Because I really remember being in it. And it'd be really fucking difficult for anybody to put anybody into a matrix for any fucking bullshit fucking excuse. So I know. Nobody would throw me in a matrix for threatening my mother or whatever the fuck they'd want me to believe in if I ever trip out and they try to get me to go crazy again. I wouldn't believe in that shit anyways, even if I was tripping. I'm way past that delusional shit. I don't know, though. If I start tripping again, maybe I could believe in it again. Tripping is hardcore. It'll make you lose your mind. You shouldn't do it. It might not be hardcore to try out. Just for like an experience thing. But to do it as a high, to do it as a regular high or whatever, that is really, really dangerous. And can really, really destroy your life. And really, really make you go crazy and make you lose your mind. Anyways, I'm really, really in this real world, and there's really, really rapes happening all around us, and there really, really is thieving scumbag, meth junkie terrorist all around us. I almost got into a fight with one, kind of. I don't know. He's kind of like taller than me, and he's black, so I was kind of nervous. I didn't really want to fight him, and I'm also afraid of the law, and I'm also afraid that he might have had weapons on him because he's a gangster wannabe. But he actually raped my ex, and I saw him out front of a corner store, and I was thinking, man, I wish I had a gun. And if there was no law, I would have fucking blasted that motherfucker. I would have put my whole fucking clip in his fucking face. I would have released all my rounds on him. Whatever you kids say nowadays. I would have got my glizzy out or whatever the fuck you say. I would have blasted him with it. Okay? Because that's what you got to do with these scumbag, evil, hardcore drug dealing pieces of fucking shit, terrorist, gangster, legal, fucking illegals. They need to be sent to Venezuela. I say we do a deal with the Venezuelan government. We could just send all of our bad guys there. They want to come back, they'll have to hike. Risk being attacked by pumas, mosquitoes, and bear. And gators. If you make it through all that, maybe God wants you here. But, I mean, give them enough incentive to stay, too. You know, it's a nice, beautiful, weathered area. They got beautiful weather. I don't think hurricanes even ever hit that area. They got the best weather on the planet. We could just send these fucking scumbags there. They could rape all the fucking people they want over there. I think the population there is already majority male anyway, so... And they're already rioting, killing each other. Their economy's shit. It's already bad there, so that it's not going to get any worse if we send them. I say we just at least send them there, or if not bad them in squares, at least send them to Venezuela. At least. Because anybody who gets in my way of finding true love and happiness deserves that. Because I never did anything wrong to anybody. I've always been an innocent person in this world since I was born into it. Just like it reminds me of the time I had my mother threaten to murder me because I was in front of her TV because she didn't like the camp and because she was upset that her TV had bad signal. She whipped the TV remote control at me and threatened to murder me. I didn't deserve that. I was just an innocent child. Just like I don't deserve to be hacked right now. I'm innocent. I don't even know how to hack myself. I barely know how to hack Wi-Fi. Shut off my Wi-Fi. Don't hack my dating app. This is lowballing me. Like, you're really punching me as low as you possibly can. Not lowballing. Lowballing is when you make an offer that's too low. This isn't lowballing. This is punching me in the balls. This is low blows. That's what I keep mistaking it for. Low blows, not low balls. This is low blows. You are doing low blows on me left and right by hacking my dating app. If I even am getting hacked, if it ain't the women are just all scumbag, terrorist, drug addict losers around here that all need to be locked up, and we could just lock up the whole town. We could just start sending everybody to camps. Let's just do it right now. I'll go. Fuck it. I'll go to a camp right now. We'll find out all these women around here are all drug addict losers, scumbags. They'll let me out a day later. They'll be like, man, we feel bad for this guy. There's not enough sober women for him. He'll never find a love. All these women are going to be in camps for the rest of their lives, working in coal mines where they belong. Because they don't want to quit. I say that's where we send them all, these worthless whores. Just send them to fucking concentration camps. Just round them all up. If that's what's really going on. If I'm not getting hacked. If I am getting hacked, then we need to send these hackers to concentration camps. Somebody's got to be sent somewhere. Whether it's the public squares, Venezuela, or a concentration camp. We need to send them somewhere. So that way Americans can finally find love and have normal lives. So that way I can find a woman to share rent with, go get an apartment, get a car. We could both have our own car. We'll share an apartment. We'll barely afford to live like that as both minimum wage workers. That's better than her getting raped by gangster terrorists and ended up as a scammer on a dating app. It's a lot better of an outcome. I think any woman in the world would be better off living with me, barely surviving, eating sandwiches to survive, than they would be living with a gangster scumbag terrorist, scamming every man they meet, and robbing Walmart and ending up in and out of jail every day. Anyways, I think I said it all perfect. I don't know what else to say about these people. I could probably talk for hours about it, but I'll just keep repeating myself about certain topics and certain things, and I really think I said it all beautifully. The majority of people in this town are a bunch of addict losers, scumbags. You look at everybody in my family practically, they're all addicted to something, and it's just really sad that we live in this society where people like my own cousin, you would never suspect it. She sells soaps, she's making cakes. You would never suspect that she's on an upper. You would never suspect it. But you can tell by her attitude, she's got that upper attitude. And her husband's on a downer. But anyways, I'm going to end it here. I don't know what else to say. Everybody's on fucking drugs around me. It's fucking crazy. This shit's got to end. I'm going to end the video here.